Hello folks, wanted to show you my HHO generator. I'm using 2 feet of 4-inch stainless steel tubing as my anode. I'm using a spiraled set of stainless steel tabs on a piece of all thread that runs through the middle of it as my cathode. Those tabs are horizontal or orthogonal to the pipe wall. It's sandwiched by 2 pieces of 1/2-inch acrylic and held together externally by 4 pieces of all thread at the corners of the acrylic. I have a little bit of instrumentation here. I want to take a look at it. This is my ammeter out of a vehicle. Obviously, it's extremely crude. The video is not focusing very well. I got low light conditions out here, but I'm reading right about 5 amp, or well, around 5 amps. If it were on the line, that would be 15. It looks to be about 1/3 of the way there. I'm also running a temperature gauge. Now this temperature gauge has the capacity to go to 160 degrees. I've exceeded that a couple of times because I'd put too much electrolyte in this container and it overheated. I also have a voltmeter that we're looking at here. And you can see it's running right around 10 volts, about 11. As it heats up, by the way, voltage goes down, amperage increases, and output of hydrogen increases. The system's set up a little haphazard. It'll get better with time. But as you see there, it's just an alligator clamp off of a battery charger, and then I've got my voltmeter plugged in beside it at the top, or at the bottom and the top. Also, if you look right over the top of the alligator, you can see that I have an air chuck sitting there. My idea is to remove that air chuck within a couple of days and put on a pressure gauge, because I'm interested in building pressure. I'd like to build to about 5 pounds to see what I could do with steady state output. My power source currently is 115 in, 12 volt out, power source out of an RV. I've been able to overload it and trip it off with its internal bimetal strip because I'd put too much electrolyte in the generator. It's a little bit of a balancing act between the wire that I have carrying the current to the generator, the capacity of the generator, and the amount of electrolyte that I put in the system. My output per these given conditions right now that you see is really quite impressive, I think. Try to get to where we can see it. What I've been able to do to this point over time is to keep a steady state flame on this system going for several hours. Now it's a cool flame because it's orange, but I can tell you that with increased volume because I increase pressure, I have been able to attain a blue flame out of this particular tip. As evidence of that, if you want to take a look here real quick, this is a can that I was able to cut under pressure at about 5 pounds with that tip that you just saw, where I had it set on the bench held, and I just turned the can by hand and I cut it off. It kind of, the system basically was that kind of a setup right there, where the flame was sitting here, and all I was doing was just turning the can. Obviously, even with that little bit of a flame, it still gets extremely warm on the aluminum. I did it with a glove. I'm interested in what you folks think. Here's my HHO, just trying to add to the cause here. Give me some feedback, folks. Tell me where to go. I'd love to learn from you, and I'd like to see how far I can push the limits on this thing. Talk to you later. Bye.